Guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here at my favorite filming spot location because guess what? We have that all new redesigned SUV midsize from Chevy. What the heck is it? It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 Chevrolet Traverse. Ours is the all new Z71 trim. But before we get into this off-road midsize 3-row SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So the Traverse, that really has been a popular vehicle for Chevrolet because of its versatility. And even though it's a midsize, still has quite an amazing amount of room inside for all 3 rows. Now, of course, there's lots of competition. Honda Pilot, especially when we look at this being an off-road spec Z71, you have the Honda Pilot Trail Sport. Of course, you have vehicles like the Telluride X Pro and the Palisade XRT, but one other key off-roader which has more credentials than the Korean brands that I mentioned is Nissan with the Pathfinder Rock Creek edition. So what I want to find out is, if you're looking for a midsize 3-row SUV and you definitely want to go beyond where the pavement ends, do you go with this Traverse Z71 or do you go with the Pathfinder? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, the new shape. So it's a little bit longer, a little bit taller, a little bit wider, but this is still a midsize. It's not a full-size SUV. Now, as we come to the front, you'll notice the new style of lighting, full LED daytime running lamps, LED projector beam headlights, and as we work our way down, you do have functional corner air curtains. I like the dark chrome trim. I wish they would have put some fog lamps here instead of the fake vents. So that is a zonk. Now, as we come across the bow tie, going back to the early 1900s, Louis Chevrolet, you have your dark chrome brow. Functionality throughout. We do have a forward-facing camera, and I love the way Chevy does their badging. Z71, this thing is really like a baby Tahoe. Now, as we work our way down, so important that if you're gonna go off-roading, you gotta have your recovery tow hooks. And what's nice is that they're bright red, like the other Z71 vehicles, their trucks and their SUVs. And then you have some metallic gray and some flat black on the lower bumper area, which is functional as well. A little bit more ground clearance, and what you're gonna find are skid plates, and this has a special all-wheel drive system, different from the other Traverses that uses a twin clutch differential out back to get the power to the ground all 4 corners. Now, as we rise up, I like how high the hood is. Gives it that Tahoe-esque feel to it. Great body lines, nice and bold, gives you good visibility of where the reference points are to this vehicle at the front. We come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So you're gonna get these special 18-inch wheels, machined aluminum, the gloss black, with our Goodyear Wrangler Territory all-terrain tires. So it's got the shielding to protect the sidewall, and this is where we see some of that separation. You know, some of the brands, when they do an off-road trim, it just has gloss black badging on it and stuff. This brings the real deal. The suspension with the lift, the skid plates, the recovery tow hooks, and of course these off-road tires. You do have some flat black around the fender opening. I'm okay with it because you're gonna be going through some brush and we don't wanna scratch up the beautiful Harvest Brown, or I should say Harvest Gold paint. Now, as we come down the side, Z71 does have gloss black on the mirror caps, 360-degree cameras. Steven's gonna show the side of the vehicle, the extra length, gonna give you some extra room on the inside. We have our raised roof rails. You can get your crossbars, your cargo basket, whatever you need. I like the way they blacked out the Traverse badge. Good placement on the door. Color matched on the door handles. Working our way towards the rear, I love the quarter window, especially the way the glass, how it pinches down as it flows into where the rear passenger door is. The black trim looks clean. Like I said, you got the twin clutch system, and then swinging around back, love the LED taillights. Look at the way it's got that nice waterfall effect to it, all LED with our Z71 badge. And then when we get to the back, This is where I do have to zonk. I wish that the wiper was tucked underneath that long roof spoiler. And if you're wondering what's going on, it's actually about to pour here. So we're still gonna keep recording. The show must go on. You got some gloss black with the blacked out bow tie in the center. And then working our way down to Chinatown, it shows the Traverse all-wheel drive name, all blacked out, quad tip exhaust, nice square stainless steel tips. This lower bumper cover comes off. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood before the lightning hits us and check out what's powering this Traverse. All right, guys, we got the hood popped, you got hood struts, and the biggest change for 2024, besides the redesign on the shape, is that engine. Gone is the naturally aspirated V6. In its place is going to be a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline four. The awesome news is it produces more horsepower and torque. 328 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, when we compare that to the Pathfinder, yes, the Pathfinder still has a V6 naturally aspirated with a 9-speed automatic, but the Pathfinder Rock Creek edition does have less horsepower and less torque. We have our all-wheel drive with that twin clutch system, 0 to 60 in about 6.5 seconds, top speed 130 miles per hour, MPGs 20 in the city, 27 on the highway. It does have ZF frequency dampers, all four corners, and you could tow up to 5,000 pounds with this vehicle. And the lift, if you were wondering, is 1.2 inches. On the Rock Creek edition, it's an inch higher than the standard Pathfinder. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see what the four banger sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Chevy Traverse Z71. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, how much is this thing? What is the price? Very good question. Now, if you're looking at the Rock Creek edition, Nissan Pathfinder is going to be an MSRP a little over 50 grand. This Traverse Z71, all new, MSRP $47,995. Let's see what you get and if you should be getting the Traverse. To the door panels, I like the soft touch material. What the big zonk is the red. Why, oh why do we have red in a Z71? The red is the same as the RS. That makes sense. Doesn't make sense in the off-road version, but I do love the black soft touch material, the shiny aluminum silver finish. You have a door pocket big enough for a Wendy's biggie bag, the soda, the fries, the chicken nuggets, and your burger. Now, Bose sound system with the silver aluminum trim, very classy looking, going from the door panel to the dash. Still that red trim, it just clashes in here. It bothers me. Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. I do like the soft touch material and I do love the stitching. Come on in. Guess what we got? Over 17 inches of infotainment system screen. Like the way it's tilted towards the driver. You do get 3 stages of heated seats. No ventilated seats on the Z71, but you do have dual climate, which is great. Of course, your whole Google Assistance package. And then you're going to have all the familiar icons that you normally see in your vehicles from Chevy. Love the cameras. Great resolution. Got camera angles, 360s everywhere, out the side. So that's really important. And then, of course, we got things like Amazon Alexa. You have your trailering, auto park assist, even adjust your climate. If you don't want to use the knobs, look at all the beautiful colors and graphics. Really, really nicely done. Now, as we work our way down, these are your dual climate control knobs. Real toggle switches, blower fan, everything for your AC, wireless charging. USB-C, USB-A, and a 12-volt. 2 cup holders. And then here is your Traverse key fob. I like the way they blacked out the bow tie. You got remote start and everything. Down below, they made a nice smart cubby down here for a purse, a merce, a sack, a satchel. Hell, you could put a 10-pound bag of nuts down here. Walnuts, pistachios, almonds, macadamia nuts. What's your nut of choice? Let me know in the comment section. Soft touch material. The gloss black is a little much here. I wish they didn't put the gloss black, but what's nice is you have a secret compartment. Let me know in the comment section what you would put in there. Easily, I would put 2 of Lori's amazing brownies that she makes with walnuts. I could taste those brownies right now. So warm, so fresh, chewy, with like the hard, crispy edges. I'm pretty spoiled, I have to admit. The stitching is great. You got the red stitching around the perimeter. Open it up. You got a tray here. What are you going to put in there? You're going to put your 7 Twinkies. And then you could easily put, I would say, probably 8 He-Man action figures in there. Remember, they're not dolls. They're action figures. And for some people, it's their retirement investment that they're going to sell on eBay one day. Or maybe Craigslist. Or Facebook Marketplace. I don't want some weirdo coming over to my house to buy He-Man action figures. The seats, the leather, the red stitching. I like the Z71 embroidery. 2 different types of stitching. And then, of course, you're going to have power adjustments no power adjustments for the passenger. Only power adjustments for the driver. I was thinking RS. See, because of the red trim in here, I thought I was in an RS. I'm not. Because RS, you get power seats, both people. Power seats just for the driver. I opened up the power shade with that panoramic sunroof, and we have a digital rearview mirror. And look, there's Steven's Crosstrek Wilderness right on camera. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the new wheel in the Z71. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You got your nice aluminum Chevrolet sill plate to welcome you in. Here's the seat controls that I was telling you about, power seat controls for the driver. I'm 6 feet tall, and I love the room that you get in the new Traverse. Steering wheel, same thing. It's not puny. It's got a nice thickness to the wheel, the Z71 badge, and we have the optional cruise system. So we have that awesome Super Cruise system from GM. Nice to have it on the Traverse, first time ever. You do have paddles to go up and down the 8-speed automatic. And down here is where you could turn on and off your all-wheel drive system, and you have your different drive modes. Dash is 11 inches in diameter. Love the way you could display a cornucopia of different views and information, which is really nice. And you have the return of the column shift, the 8-speed automatic column shift, and the steering wheel is heated. So nice to have all those amenities, but let's get in the mid-row and the third row and see what your passengers are going to experience in this Traverse. All right, guys, mid-row and third row time, and it's nice because I have the panoramic sunshade out open. Really kind of makes everything nice and bright in here. Captain's chairs, the seat material is great. This armrest is a Zong, too skinny, so I'll just get it out of my way. I like the leather all the way around. You got good sized pockets. Put a magazine, put a book, put a mirror so that your passenger can look at themselves and say, hey, I'm okay. I love myself, because you can't love somebody else until you love yourself. Nice command center here. Get the 2 super big gulps. You got your rear AC controls, and we have a home power source, 2 USB-Cs, and a place for a pickle in a bag. Always got to have a pickle in a bag from one of those weird, freaky gas stations that you always find when you're on a family trip. The nice thing is that the seats slide and the seats recline, which is great. And since we're talking about seats, I'm going to show you how easy it is to get in the third row. So I'm going to slide this up. You lift up here, it gets out of the way. And then now, let me fix the floor mat here so I can make sure it's nice. Now I'm in the third row. So with the seat all the way forward, my knees are not touching the seat. It's actually not too high, surprisingly. My head is not close to the headliner. I do have AC vents, USB-Cs, a place for a Go-Gurt, and a nice small milkshake. Or maybe a Frosty from Wendy's. I love a good Frosty. But it really isn't too bad back here, to be honest with you. And I'm 6 feet tall, remember. But let's get to the cargo area and see what we could stuff in this Traverse. All right, guys, cargo area time. We're going to do it the good old-fashioned way. You're just going to hit the button. On the Z71, you do have electric opening lift gate. And then what I did was I went ahead and put the third row down just to show you. I think a lot of people are going to use this Traverse in this orientation. 58 cubic feet of space. Fold the mid-row down. That's going to give you over 90 cubic feet of space. One of the things that this kind of shares, just like the Pathfinder, is that there's a storage compartment underneath. And just like the Pathfinder, I'm going to give it a zonk because you can't use it as a cooler. It's nice plastic, so you can put all the dirty sandals, all the beach wear in here when you're done with the beach, but you can't use it as a cooler. I would put a total of 36 boxes of Twinkies back here for the family road trip, and you'll notice, just like the Pathfinder, it stays in the up position, which is nice. So you don't have to hold it with one arm to get your boxes of Twinkies in there. And then, like I was trying to show you, the USB-Cs are on both sides for the third row. So that's another nice touch in the back of this vehicle. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready, let's go for a spin in this Traverse Z71 and see how it drives. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Chevy Traverse, first time Z71, and right away, I just love the redesigned space in here. It's very spacious. The new technology with this large, over 17-inch infotainment system screen is right there. And one thing I wanted to show you while we're waiting for the traffic here to do its thing, you got your different modes, and look at how nice the graphics are on that infotainment system screen. Really, really well done. And then the fact that you have right next to the mode selector buttons, you could shut off that pesky auto start-stop feature is really nice as well. But one thing you're gonna notice right away is the better feeling you have being behind the wheel of this new Traverse, especially the Z71. I really think that is the one that I would purchase because I like the fact that it's got the real deal credentials to do some light off-roading, but yet the interior still feels very fantastic. And I think that is really where the Traverse is going to excel, especially when we compare it to the Pathfinder. Visibility is great. You have your digital rear view mirror. And another nice facet is how you could turn on and off the all-wheel drive system. Keep it front-wheel drive or have it be all-wheel drive, all by the press of a button. You got your wireless charging, easy to get to, and it's nice and large for those bigger phones that people use that almost look like iPads. And the fact that you still have some real knobs and switches for the real important stuff is really good as well. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you is that getting around the infotainment system is very easy. You don't have to always go into the menus. Say I want to listen to my Sirius XM, you just hit the music note and it brings up your Sirius XM or whatever you're listening to, whether it be just regular FM, AM, or anything in between. And then if I want to have my map back up, you just hit that icon and we have our Google map back up very easily. The 8-speed automatic has definitely been improved on when it comes to the tuning of how it shifts up, how it shifts down, and where it's at all times while you're driving. I really feel like it's a more competent feeling and shifting transmission. But the way the seats kind of cradle your backside, it's really, really comfy in here for those longer drives. And the fact now that we have Super Cruise, first time ever on a Traverse available, and we have it on ours. But going down the road, I think Chevy did a great job on the suspension tuning with those ZF dampers, but also did a good compromise between the off-road tires and road noise. You know, obviously when you go to an off-road spec tire, it's going to create more road noise. That's part of the compromise. But this vehicle, you're not getting a ton of road noise, which is nice. And the way that the chassis is more rigid, the sound deadening material, there's less vibration in the cabin and less noise coming, period, from outside into the cabin. And I really, really do appreciate that. And like I showed you earlier, right next to the button that heats your steering wheel is where you could switch from the different camera views. And what I mean by that is not so much cameras, but the digital display information. So you could actually have Sirius XM up and then have your map in front of you, which is really nice. Or what you could do is have other information as well. So, and then say you've had a very stressful day, they have the comm screen, which just shows your speed basically, and that's about it. So nice to have that variety. With the emergency brake assist, you have that usual GM flashing red LED lighting that comes up on the windscreen. But really the fit and finish, the materials, and definitely the technology has come a long way in this Traverse from the previous generation. Another thing you'll notice is that if you haven't been in a Traverse, like say you've always been under the impression that it's too large, or you're afraid that this is a little larger, that's gonna be hard to drive, as you can see in this high traffic situation, very easy to navigate with. And I think part of it has to do with how they lifted the hood nice and high so you could see your reference points very, very easily. But the nice soft touch material, the way you have more storage is great in here. And if you need more, you could get more with the RS trim. All right, guys, we're out on the highway and I have Super Cruise in action. And you can see when the light is green, that means that the system is working, and this is autonomous driving, hands-on autonomous driving. Probably my favorite one because it's just so easy to use. I like the way it's integrated within the steering wheel, and it allows you to exactly know what the system is doing at any time. But Nissan does have a version of this called Pro Pilot Assist, but Super Cruise definitely is the way to go. It'll change lanes for you. It'll obviously slow up. It'll speed up. It'll do everything. All you have to do is keep looking forward. And this is something, like I said, this technology piece that has been added to the Traverse that you were not able to get before. But it does a really good job of getting you down the road very, very efficiently. And it's a pretty seamless system. They really have done their homework. They've added thousands and thousands and thousands of extra roads into the system, including back roads, and that's the big thing that separates it from the rest of the pack. But with the adaptive cruise, with the Super Cruise, it just allows for a very easy driving experience, especially if you've had a hard day at work and just really annoyed by everybody and your head's kind of frazzled. As you can see, it's looking for a lane to open. It was gonna change lanes, but then the vehicle next to me, there we go, turn signal on, it speeds up, and look at that, change lanes. Now that is crazy. So it knew that somebody was there and waited, and then when there was a gap, it actually sped up to make the change. Same thing here, making another lane change. So really cool technology, makes driving kind of interesting if you haven't experienced it, because at first it's a little freaky, I'll be honest with you, especially when it does the lane changes. But the more you use it, the more you kind of get used to it, and it's a really seamless system. But like I said, with this vehicle, look, we're braking now, so this traffic is really slowing, we're braking. With this vehicle having the all-wheel drive, it just got done pouring. So even in the state of Florida, nice to have the all-wheel drive system. And depending on what you're doing, if you're on the highway, you could turn it off very easily just by the press of a button. And that'll help with your fuel economy. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of just how capable and versatile the new Traverse is with the different trims that it has and the new technology. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways with this 2024 Chevy Traverse, the new Z71 trim. I want to thank everybody over at Chevrolet for getting us access to this press fleet vehicle. Let me know what you think. Are you liking the look? Are you liking the technology? Are you liking what's underneath that hood for this new Traverse, or are you going to go the Nissan Pathfinder Rock Creek edition route? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, then you're being part of the Raise Rise family. We got to thank Stephen Flood. It was getting sketchy out here with the lightning. He's holding a metal gimbal and that camera. Oh boy, oh boy. But guess what? He made it, and Zeus did not win today. So thank you, Stephen, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.